Last month was the BET Awards, and although I didn't tune into the show, I saw the highlights and performances, and it was pretty good. I was looking down at the winners and stopped at the Best Movie category. The movies nominated were Bad Boys for Life, Harriet, Queen and Slim, Dolomite Is My Name, Just Mercy, and Homecoming, a film by Beyonce. Now I thought, wow, this is a pretty stacked film category. And as I saw the winner, it was Queen and Slim. From the category, I saw Just Mercy, Queen and Slim, Homecoming, and Dolomite Is My Name. Now, here are my one-sentence reviews. Just Mercy felt like a Oscar bait movie. Dolomite Is My Name was criminally underrated. Queen and Slim was disappointing, and Homecoming felt like Beyonce's magnum opus. Queen and Slim's win at the BET Awards frustrated me, and I wanted to explain why. In this video, I will discuss what I liked about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and some changes that I would make coming from a screenwriter's perspective. When the Queen and Slim trailer first dropped, I was actually very excited for it. The film was directed by Melina Matsoukas in her directorial debut and was written by Lena Wraith. It starred Daniel Kaluuya and Jodie Turner-Smith. Now, me and my boyfriend decided to go watch this since it was kind of a couple's movie. And we saw it on our 1-year anniversary, which I thought was pretty nice. So we went, we sat, we watched, we walked out, and I felt very disappointed and underwhelmed. But let's start with the positive. Here are the things that I did like. Todd Radcliffe was the director of photography on this film, and man, did he make this film look beautiful. The way that the shots were set up, there was a good amount of landscape shots and a lot of long shots, as this was mostly a road trip movie, and oh my god, it was just so beautiful. The aesthetic I can kind of get from it was very 2000s old video recorder vibes, and it was very gritty. I really love the cinematography, and the fact that there was 2 dark black leads, the way that he was able to make them actually show up correctly and beautifully is probably one of the biggest standouts of this movie. I mean, I can't get enough. This movie was shot amazingly. To think that Melina Matsoukas was a music video director, it kind of shows, because it kind of has that aesthetic. It kind of reminds me of Formation in some ways. But the cinematography was easily one of the best standouts of this movie. The score was produced by Dave Hines, and the soundtrack was filled with the likes with Meg Thee Stallion, Burna Boy, Black, Lauryn Hill, Tiana Major 9, and many more. In the quiet/tense moments of the movie, the score was used to either add a little bit of intensity or even a little bit of serenity. And a lot of times the songs from the soundtrack were being used in the film was to emulate a road trip movie, as I keep saying, as music is one of the most important factors of the road trip movie. And I think what's really interesting about the vibe is that it's very indie R&B/jazz. So in a way, the way that the music is shown, it's almost relaxing, and it's juxtaposed with the sense of urgency with Queen and Slim being in this dangerous situation. So I think also music was a very important factor of this movie, and I sincerely enjoyed it a lot. List of other things I liked about the movie: rapid fire style. I love the opening credits scene with Queen and Slim arguing in the car about what they're going to do after the shooting incident. I think that was a really good way to open the movie. Very intense, very zero in on the audio, since all you see is the opening credits, and I thought that was really well done. I liked the bar scene. The bar scene was very sensual, and the music was really good, and you don't really see a lot of Black guitar players, even though I know they're out there. I see them out there, they're on tour. And to see that old gritty style and people of all ages in the bar dancing and seeing Queen and Slim's connection grow, I really enjoyed that scene as well. The use of names was really well done as well. If you've seen Queen and Slim, you know that we don't know Queen and Slim's name until the end. after they die at the hands of police. And the character's name is Ernest Hines and Angela Johnson. And the reason why Lena Waithe wrote it that way was to pay tribute to the various black people that have died at the hands of police, including Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and Eric Gardner. And I thought that was a really good way because, you know, they talk about the film about how, in a way, when they die, their names are immortalized and they become this symbol. And that's something that I can get behind. I think it's a really deep meaning. And I also enjoyed that aspect of the film as well. That concludes all I liked about the film. Now, what I didn't like about the film has a couple of minor things, but one major thing. I did not like Queen at all. I did not like her. Angela Johnson frustrated me as a character so much. And in comparison, Slim, I liked Slim. Slim was a laid-back guy who also had this naivete / innocence about him. And honestly, after the whole shooting happened, you can see a little bit of that innocence go away. And I think that's something that, you know, he's dealing with, and I like that. Now, Queen, now I know she had this whole arc going on, you know, as a character, she's very closed off, she's highly ambitious. I read the script after I watched the film, and in the description for Queen, Lena wrote regal as so she's a person who's very assured of herself and is waiting for that other ball to drop and is just ahead of the game. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with you going on a date. You know, you have a little bit of high standards, which is fine. I think that's fine. And, you know, not wanting to be alone. And I get that. My problem with Queen as a character started with the traffic stop. It started there. Now, I know most black people have been through this. We all know when the cops stop us, we try to do our best to get out of the situation as quickly as we can. And I think that's what Slim was trying to do. And him talking back to the officer probably wasn't really the best idea, but it also wasn't that serious enough for a cop to pull his gun on him. And Queen was well in her rights to video record this stop and everything. Now, once Queen gets shot in the leg or grazed, and Slim kills the cop, and they're staring at what happened, you know, they're trying to reel about what happens. He says that we should help them, but then Queen is the person to say no. We're gonna leave him there because you're screwed if we do. And she takes the cop's gun, and then they go off. And then from that moment, the movie actually kind of, I jumped off the train of the movie. I jumped off because it's just a thing where it's like, Angela is this lawyer. She's a lawyer, and she mentions on her date with Slim that the state is choosing to execute her client, so it was a shitty day for her. And it was hard for me to grasp the fact that she was ready to just jump sides so quickly. And it's like we didn't even really know this character. So for me, it was really hard for her to go along with these decisions that she chooses to make. And they're very bad decisions. It almost reminds me of Thelma and Louise. For anyone who doesn't know what Thelma and Louise is, it's a movie starring Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon. And it's about these two women that go on a girls' trip. And when Thelma gets almost raped by this guy, Louise is able to stop him. But when this man decides to talk back to Louise, she kills him. And then from that point on, they go on a whole robbing spree, and they break the law, and they do all this other stuff. And I just remember watching that. I'm just like, you didn't really have to shoot him because you stopped him from raping your friend, but then you did, and then you went and did all these bad decisions, and I'm just supposed to go along with it. And it's just like, It's like I jumped off the roller coaster that was these movies and just watched from the sideline. That's how I felt. Because from that point, Queen was the biggest nuisance and the biggest problem maker. I mean, she's the one that keeps telling Slim that he's going to get in trouble, he's going to get in trouble, and he's a criminal, and he took the cop's gun when she took the cop's gun. Then she gets angry with him and she's just like, well, I want to leave. And it's just like, well, it was your idea to run in the first place, so you don't get that option. And it seems like every situation, she just makes things harder. And I don't want to be the one that perpetuates bad narratives towards black women, because that's not what I want to do. I'm a black woman myself. I want to write these stories one day. But it was just a thing where I feel like she was just making everything more difficult. And I guess that's part of her arc, where it's like she's not really trusting of people, and then in the end she trusts Slim. And it's just like, it took so long to get to that point of her arc, and I just felt like it could have been handled so much better. Queen was so hard for me to watch. I did not like her. I did not like her as a character. I thought her arc was botched, and it's just it's a shame. It's a shame because I felt like her whole story or arc was just a big missed opportunity. But we'll get there in a second. Here's some other things that I did not like about this movie. There's a couple scenes that felt very useless. I mean, there was a scene where Slim was trying to get gas using the stolen sheriff's truck, and then the clerk was trying to hold his gun. What was the whole point of that? That was very stupid. I did not like that scene. There was another scene where Queen and Slim went to go to the Last Helper's house, and Chloe Sevigny was there, and that was just like very short, and I don't know, it was just kind of whatever. But I think my second biggest problem with this film was the character of Junior. Junior was this kid that Queen and Slim encountered when their car broke down after Queen and Slim made a stop to Queen's uncle's house, which was a whole other thing. And the mechanic knows who they were and decides to fix their car. So to have insurance that he wasn't going to steal his car, they made him basically babysit his kid. Now, when they are with this kid tells them they're going to a protest to support Queen and Slim, and how he wants to be immortal. He wants to be remembered. Now, on a second viewing, I just did not get this kid. Like, honestly, it's a shame that it sucks because this kid has to think about these things, but also it sounded like he wanted to be a martyr, and he's too young to be a martyr. He shouldn't be thinking about that stuff. So it's just a thing where it's like, I don't know if it's supposed to be inspiring or not, but it was not inspiring. And then possibly the worst scenes in this movie, or at least it wasn't even the worst scene, it was just the way that it was cut. So basically, the protest happens, but it's also intercut with Queen and Slim having sex for the first time. And I hated this so much. I hated it. I don't know why they chose these two scenes in particular. I don't know why they chose these two scenes, because it's either we see Queen and Slim having sex and then building that connection, or we see the protest that's in their name. Why do I have to see that at the same time? It's not intense. It, like, honestly, the sex scene cuts down the intensity of the protest. And then on top of that, Junior pulls a gun and shoots the cop. Oh my god. When I saw that, I'm just like, why? And we didn't see Junior get killed, but we can only assume that he did, because he shot a cop in the face who was trying to get him to go home. So it's like, I don't like how this kid literally became a martyr. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It just made me upset. It made me upset, and it was intercut with his sex scene, and I'm just like, no. This was the worst thing in the movie. I did not like that. Now, here's the fun part of this video. I am a screenwriter myself. I have written a couple short films, a skit, and I've written a full feature length. So, after watching this movie and reading the screenplay, I just thought, what are some things that I would write differently if I had the chance to rewrite this film? Well, to start, I think I would keep everything in the film from the beginning up to the traffic stop the same. The only thing that I would change would I would take out Queen's line about her client being in jail. I think that's something that could have been used later in the film to help build Queen and Slim's relationship. Basically, instead of going on the run immediately, they get caught immediately because the dash footage is there. You know, the cop shoots Queen unprovoked, Slim shoots the cop to defend both of them, and then the cops roll up and then they get pulled in. I think it would be very interesting for Queen and Slim's dynamic if Queen defended Slim. Because from what we have seen, if you've seen Queen and Slim, you know that Queen's first client is her uncle for killing her mom. Then she defends someone that's going to be on death row. So you can tell that she likes a challenge when it comes to these cases. And this one's clearly one of self-defense, but the cop was killed, so we all know there's going to be, suspicion behind that. And I think that'd be really interesting, and that would actually help their relationship grow even more. I think her opening up about that client and her parents, and then Slim somehow gets bail, so then that's how they're able to interact a lot, which I think is going to be there. I think another thing that I would change is that I think the dash cam footage could be used too. Like maybe it's there in evidence and then maybe like someone takes it out so we can make sure this guy goes to jail. And then we can use the whole fact that the cop has killed another black man before. So then that's going to be in the air. I think the protest should happen. I don't think that Junior Kid should die or kill anyone. I think that was pretty dumb. And I think once the trial comes, maybe Slim does have that guilty verdict. But what if Angela's so good at her job and he gets a day to surrender somehow? I don't know. And then they go on the run. Cause then I feel like that's a little bit more earned. That's a little bit like they have to escape what they're doing. They want to be together. The system is unjust. I think also this would be a good subplot for Angela too, about her whole feeling about the justice system. Maybe through this case, it proves her right that it doesn't work, or maybe it does. I'm just talking generally speaking. But those are some changes that I would definitely make to the film if I was writing it, because I don't know about you, but I would definitely watch that film over this version. For anyone who says that this is the Black Bonnie and Clyde, are very, very mistaken, and this movie is definitely not it. This movie was very disappointing and very underwhelming, and it makes me sad because I don't want to see any more narratives like this. I mean, why can't we just have a regular road trip movie with two black leads? Why does it have to be encountered in escaping the law? I just hope that one day, or soon, we can see more movies that have weird and quirky stuff following black people and something with positive vibes, because this movie was just simply exhausting.